Hello, hi Anthony. In this video, I want to show you 4 ways of describing required fields in Apex. Let's start. I'll press Ctrl Home to go to the beginning of the page.
Application Express sign in.
And now I'll press H to go to the header.
Oracle Application Express.
Heading level 1.
At this moment, I want to understand what is in the region Oracle Application Express. And to do this, I'll press down arrow.
Workspace.
And I hear workspace. I hear workspace, and I understand that workspace is the label. How I'll understand it, I'll press down arrow.
Edit.
MGNC underline prod.
And I hear required, edit, MGNC prod, new line. I'll repeat it.
Edit.
MGNC underline prod.
Left margin, required, edit, MGNC underline prod, and new line. And only MGNC underline prod is the content of the field. And required is an attribute of the field. Edit described me that this field is text field. And left margin, this is layout attribute of this field. No spaces between before this field. So I have an attribute of this field, and I know that value for this field is required. So this is what I want to have everywhere in Oracle Apex, and I want all required fields to be described in this way. So please describe all fields in Apex using the same technique. When we have just a label, I'll press up arrow.
Workspace.
Just a label workspace, and I'll press down arrow.
Edit.
MGNC underline prod.
And I'll have required MGNC required edit MGNC underline prod new line. So I know the attributes of this object, and attributes is required and edit, and I know the content of this object. The content is MGNC underline prod. So this is what I want to have. And now I'll switch to the next way, the second way of describing required fields in Oracle Apex. To do this, I press Ctrl.
Create workspace.
New tab.
I press Ctrl Home to go to the beginning of the page.
Create workspace.
Now I press H.
Create workspace.
Heading level 1.
Current progress.
H.
Create workspace.
Heading level 2.
Heading level 2. And this is what I want to have. And let us see what is in this region. I press down arrow.
Right justified. Workspace name. Value required.
And I hear workspace name, value required. And here, value required is not an attribute. Value required here is announced with the same voice as workspace name. So I have here 4 words: workspace name, then left parenthesis, value required, right parenthesis, and so I have 4 words here: workspace name, value required. Let us see again.
Right justified. Workspace name. Value required. Right justified. Workspace name. Value required.
Workspace name, value required. I'm sorry, I use Russian to describe the left and right parentheses. It helps me to understand it. It's better. I'm sorry for this. So the label of this field is workspace name required, value required. And what I can understand here, that my cited users, for example, I'm the developer, and I created such I marked the label the same way, and what my cited users can see here, they can see also 4 words. And I can read this word by word.
Name. Workspace. Name. Value. required. Прескока.
Workspace name value required. So this is not what I want to create for my sighted people, for my sighted users. So this is a problem for me. So this is why I'm asking you not to change, please do not change the label, because value required is not an attribute of the label. Value required is an attribute of the text field. I'll press down arrow now.
Left margin. Left justified.
Edit.
New line.
And I have only edit text field with no value. So I can press insert up arrow to repeat this.
Left margin.
Edit.
New line.
So this is edit empty text field. This is not just edit empty text field. This is edit optional and empty text field. This field is optional because no attribute required was announced here. So let's start to understand this. This text field is optional because this have no attributes no required attributes on this field. And then let us listen the label of this field.
Right justified. Workspace name. Прескока. Value required. Прескока. New line.
But in the label, this is required. This is what not I want to have. I don't want to have this way of marking the fields as required. So this was the second way. Let us see to the third way of describing field as required. I press Ctrl Tab to go to the next
Page
example.
designer.
New tab page.
Now I'll press Ctrl Tab.
Left margin.
Sorry, Ctrl Home to go to the beginning of the
Left
page.
margin. Page designer. New line.
So I'm on the page designer. Now I'll go to the property pane. To do this, I'll press E with key twice,
Page find. Filter properties.
Edit.
Use JAWS key plus Alt plus M to move to controlled element. Filter.
and then I'll press H.
Identification. New line.
Heading level 2.
Use JAWS key plus Alt plus M to move to controlled element.
And now I'm on identification region. Now I'll press F to go. No, I'll not press M. I'll press just down arrow.
Left margin. Required. New line.
And I hear the word required. Required is the text sighted people can see, because it was announced to me as a content. And then new line required, and then new line. Then I press down arrow to read next line.
Name. New line.
Name required and name. So as a label, sighted people can see as a label of this field required name. Required in the first line and name in the second line. That's what I can see. Then I can press down arrow again.
Required.
Edit.
P101 underline username. New line.
I'll press insert up arrow to repeat this.
Left margin. Required.
Edit.
P101 underline username. New line.
I'll now decrease the speed for you, just in case.
Slower. 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 Slower.
And I'll press insert up arrow again.
Left margin. Required.
Edit.
P101 underline username. New line.
So left margin, required, edit. All of these words is here to describe an attributes of this object. And now I know edit stands for the text field. Required stands is to show me that the value of this field is required, and left margin is an layout attribute. So now I know that this field has three attributes here, and this field is required. This is a text field, but this field have two lines for label, and first line is required and the second line is name. So please remove the word required from the label, because required is not an attribute of the field, and you use it not as an attribute. You use required as the content of the label, and this is a problem.
Name. Required.
Sorry, I'll restore the voice rate.
Screen updated. Identification required.
Okay. Now let us press down arrow again
Next margin. Name. New line.
and again.
Required.
Edit.
P101 underline username. New line.
I use very high voice rate for the attributes of the field. Why? Because I hear these attributes 1 million times per day. So I understand this words very good. So this is the reason why I increased the speed for such attributes. I cannot understand the content very fast, so I have slow speed for content, slow voice rate for the content, and I use a high voice rate to announce me the attributes. The attributes, the number of the attributes is limited, and so low number of these words, so it's easy to understand with high voice rate. So now I'll press down arrow. Okay. I described the third way of announcing label of announcing required field. So you changed it here. You see the third way of changing the label. Now I'll press down arrow.
Required. New line.
And also required the same.
Type. New line.
Type. So 2 lines for the label. First line is required. The second line is typed. It's okay. Now I'll press down arrow.
Collapse. Required.
Combo box.
Text field. New line.
And now I see the several words. I'll repeat them.
Type.
Combo box.
Collapse. Required. Text field.
Collapse. Combo box. Text field. And this is very good example to show why I must use different voices and different voice speeds and different voices to announce an attribute and the content. Because now I know that this is a combo box and text field is an option in this combo box. And now I know that this is not a text field and the combo box is not a content of this text field. Because JAWS announces me types of this object with one voice and the content of this object with another voice. So now I know that this is a combo box. The combo box is collapsed and the text field is here not to describe this field, but text field is here to describe the chosen option for this combo box. So I'll press insert up arrow to repeat this.
Type.
Combo box.
Collapse. Required. Text field.
It's okay. Now I described it was still for third way of announcing required fields. Then let us see to the fourth way of announcing required fields. I'll press
Label.
H.
New line.
Heading level 2.
Use JAWS key settings. New line.
Heading level 2.
H
Use JAWS key
again.
plus Alt plus M to move to controlled element.
I'll press F.
Subtype.
Combo box.
Collapse. Required. Email.
I'll press F again.
Trim spaces.
Combo box.
Collapse. Required. Leading and trailing.
And now I'll press down arrow. And please listen.
Next margin. Required. Submit when enter pressed. New line.
Required submit when enter press. The fourth way. Previously, after the word required, I had new line. Now only one label. Required submit. Let us repeat. Insert up arrow.
Next margin. Required. Submit when enter pressed. New line.
Required submit when enter pressed. 5 words in the label. Required submit when enter pressed. But I know that sighted people have known the word required as a label of this object. Why I have this word required as a label? So no word label for sighted people should not be these words for blind people also. So I press down arrow. So nothing to add here, so I can press down arrow, it's not a problem. But the next field will be very, very interesting.
Group start submit yes. Sent it. Yeah. No. No. Left justified. Group end. New line.
And now I'm on the group end, so my radio group, this is the end of my radio group, it's okay. And I'll press down arrow.
Required disabled. New line.
And I have required and disabled. So now I know that you use the word, the label of the field to describe me the attribute of this field. So what I can understand here? I can understand here you also add the next property of this field. So this field not only value is required for this field, but also this field is disabled. Why? Because you put two attributes to the label of this field. And I can prove it when the name. Let us see.
Next module. Label. Identification. Create. New line. Identification. New line.
Heading level 2.
Use to key.
I jumped to identification and I press down arrow.
Next module. Required. New line.
And I hear all attributes of the next field. Required new line. Required new line. And then I press down arrow.
Name. New line.
And I hear name. So required is a label. But in the next example, I'll jump there.
Next module. Settings. New line.
Heading level 2.
Use subtype. Trim spaces.
Combo box.
Collapse. Required. Leading and trailing. Next module. Groups. Yes. Sent it. No. No. New line. Left justified. Group end. Required disabled. Group end. New line.
Group end and I press down arrow.
Required disabled. New line.
Required disabled new line. So what can I understand here? Required is an attribute because this is the way how JAWS announces me required fields, and disabled is also attribute because I can think that the disabled is also an attribute, and you put it here, so I know that this field is disabled. This field is required and disabled. It's difficult to understand, but I will try, and I will press down arrow.
Group start disabled. New line.
Group start disabled. This group is disabled. Group start, group end. Okay, I use Apex since Apex 2 that I know that this is disabled for label and required is as an attribute. But this is a very good example that it's very difficult to understand what is for label, what is for attribute. So to do this, just apply ARIA attribute to the field, not to the label. So now I think this can be end of this video. I also can show you
Next module. Layout. New line. Appearance. Validation. New line.
Heading level 2.
Use to key plus alt plus M to move to control element. Next module. Required value required. New line.
required value required. The label of this field required value required. Now I'll repeat it for you.
Next module. Required value required. New line.
So just let me see this the same what sighted people can see. Sighted people can see here only value required. The attribute required isn't just an attribute, and just apply it to the field.
Group start value required. New line.
Group start value required. Okay, this is group of radio buttons, no problem.
Yes.
Radio button.
Checked required.
Yes, radio button checked required. Let me repeat it.
Checked required.
Radio button.
New line.
Checked required radio button, new line.
Next module. Checked required.
Radio button.
New line.
Checked required radio button, new line. So let me return to the beginning.
Create works. Application express dash sign in. Next margin. Application Express dash sign. Next margin. Oracle Application Express. New line.
Heading level 1.
So I want to see the first item, workspace. And I know that workspace now is hidden. I believe so. I cannot see it, but I think the label of the workspace is hidden, and because you are using workspace here. Placeholder here. You use placeholder here. So maybe you know what I want to have here. I want, in fact, I want to, if the label is hidden, if you know, I don't know how to do this, but if you know, it will be good idea to put attribute, not the content, but attribute visually hidden or something like that, and apply this attribute, aria attribute, to the
Next margin. Workspace. New line.
to the label workspace. I don't know if it is possible or not. Maybe you know this, but if this is possible, it will be the best solution. So to show me, the blind developer, that this label is visually hidden. So when I will create my application and use hidden field, I will be able to check that the label is hidden, but this label is shown just for blind people. So now this is the end. Thank you very much. Bye.